24 minutes past 7 is the time. You may remember, last month we spoke to 5 military veterans with life-changing injuries who are taking on the challenge of kayaking from Land's End to John O'Groats. Some gorgeous views, and looking pretty calm, the water behind you, which is good news. Like a moment of calm.
Isn't it just? Isn't it just?
Calm before the storm, maybe. Of course, we've got, Euros fever gripping England. Businesses are desperately trying to, keep up with the demand for stuff that's related to the Euros.
Yeah, and how are bakeries adapting? Ben's asking that question in Bolton for us this morning. Time now is 7:34. You're watching Breakfast with Naga Munchetty and Charlie State.
Good morning to you. So, after weeks of being told not to travel to amber list countries, we now hear that from July 19th, if you're double jabbed, you can visit an amber list country without having to quarantine when you return. Let's talk to the Transport Secretary.
Let's see, time is 7:49 on a Friday morning. Matt, let's have a look at the weather.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Matt. 7:50. So, Jen, I'm looking at the picture behind. Let's talk about the Olympics now. State of emergency has been declared in Japan following a rise in coronavirus cases, which means spectators have been banned from all events at the Tokyo Games.
So in the early hours of this morning, the Olympic Flame's arrival was greeted with a small ceremony which was broadcast on a live stream rather than through the typical relay. We're joined now in the studio. Did you see it? Have you seen the pictures of the torch arriving and kind of being transferred? It was very low-key.
Yeah. More from Michael Penn. Michael, your sort of eyes and ears on the ground there in Tokyo. I mean, and you can fill us in, effectively, Japanese people don't want the Olympics there. It's happening anyway. You have a state of emergency, and lo and behold, all Callum's former colleagues and from all over the world, international athletes and their teams and their backup are all arriving. What a situation. How these things work. You got an event like cycling. You've got 3 days. They're competing over 3 days. Lo and behold, I don't know, day 2, someone who's been in a competition tests positive. They're going to be tested all the time. Do we know? I mean, are we thinking there are going to be whole events where lots of competitors are going to be wiped out because that has to be so?
And they know that you explain the conditions in the Olympic Village, but as well, aren't they, athletes?
Yeah, they are.
How the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, has dealt with this.
I mean,
it's brilliant. A gold medalist.
However this works out, that remains an incredible thing.
Forget the cycling. For anyone who hasn't been into the Olympics yet, top event to watch. It's going to be amazing.
Really interesting. Good to see you here this morning.
Callum, thank you so much. Headlines are coming up. Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast. You're with Charlie State and Naga Munchetty.
Our headlines today. Good morning. It's Friday the 9th of July. Our top story today. Travel companies are reporting a huge surge in demand for flights and holidays after the government announced changes to quarantine rules.
In 10 days, anyone in England who's double jabbed can visit an amber list country without having to self-isolate upon return. The easing of restrictions is already providing a big boost for the travel industry.
Past 8 is the time now.
Very generous of you to give those awards out. They come few and far between. Of severe illness or death from COVID-19 is extremely low for young people. This is according to a new study by leading academics. Frontline care workers supporting elderly or disabled people in England require the same skills as teaching assistants and police community support officers. However, they're paid £7,000 a year less, according to research by Integrated Community Care.
The charity says underfunding makes it difficult to recruit staff. The government says it will publish plans to reform adult social care by the end of the year. Here's our social affairs correspondent, Alison Holt.
Something brilliant to show you now. The face of Neptune, the Roman god of fresh water and the sea, appears to have made an appearance on the East Sussex coast during a storm.
Matt, what do you think? Where are you? There you are.
There he is.
They were, wasn't it? You can see it straight away. Usually sometimes you have to squint.